Yeah, it's been a couple of days now since I've done a separate video on a specific news article going on in the world of new and entertainment, but this one was really intriguing to me. Deadline Hollywood is reporting that a new Star Trek movie is in the works with Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daley working on it. Now, if you remember, Quentin Tarantino had been working on a Star Trek movie for a couple of months, years now, but recently that project was officially dropped. But this comes from Deadline Hollywood, like I said. After breathing new life into high-profile IP like the Spider-Man franchise and Dungeons & Dragons, Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daley are looking to boldly go where no directors have gone before. Insert Star Trek intro bit there, but before with a very popular franchise. Sources tell Deadline the duo is coming on to write, produce, and attach to direct a new original Star Trek film for Paramount. They will produce under their Gold Day banner. Plot details are being kept under wraps for now, but sources say Goldstein and Daley's films is a completely new take of the Star Trek universe, not connected to any previous or current TV series, movie, or prior movie development projects. The pitch falls in line with Skydance founder David Ellison's recent comments about an earnings call where he said the next Star Trek film would not be a sequel in the Chris Pine-led series, but something different with new actors. While not confirmed, sources added it's likely you'll also see new characters being featured in this version. As for Goldstein and Daley, the two have shown an knack for not only delivering scripts with new and fresh takes on existing IP, but adding a fun and lightness that differentiates them from other films in the franchise. Films like Spider-Man Homecoming, which the two wrote, and the recent Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, which they also directed, earned strong marks from fans and critics alike for not only having strong stories, but fun, witty humor that consistently is seen in their works and will be fresh for the Star Trek franchise. Goldstein and Daley also have strong ties to both Paramount and Skydance on recent projects. Dungeons & Dragons was one of Paramount's best-scored films from 2023, with a 91% from critics and 92% from audience members. As for Skydance, Goldstein and Daley recently wrote, produced, and directed the original Cold War action comedy Mayday starring Ryan Reynolds. Sources say it has tested through the roof in early screenings for Skydance and Apple, which plans to release next year. So there you go. Star Trek movie, they're going at it again. They've been trying to do a new Star Trek film since Star Trek Beyond, which was 9 years ago. So we're kind of in I think we're actually in the longest gap between new Star Trek films. Because remember, it was Star Trek Nemesis and the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie were like 7 years apart overall. I mean, really, I really got involved in Star Trek mostly because of the films. I haven't seen all the TV series. I've been catching up with more of the Paramount Plus stuff recently. I've seen the other Star Trek original series, like the original one, the Next Generation, those films. But I mean, when it comes to Star Trek, my first introduction to this series was through the films. And they had been talking about doing another film for many, many years now. I mean, I mentioned the Quentin Tarantino one. There was one that Matt Shankman was going to do, but that never went through. There was an origin story that they were going to do with Toby Haynes and Seth Grahame-Smith putting it together. And then you had one with Kalinda Vasquez, who works on Star Trek Discovery, that was going to be in the works. But I have no idea if that's still in development, but the most recent one we got was Star Trek Section 31, which was the Paramount Plus movie, which I really did not like. It's actually very high up on the worst movies of the year so far for me. I mean, it's that bad. It's probably up there with the worst Star Trek movies ever made, and that's saying a lot, man, because Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier, and Star Trek Insurrection definitely are films that deserve to be in that echelon of the worst Star Trek movies, and that one's right there with it. And that wasn't even released in theaters. That was straight on Paramount Plus, But I digress. These two guys, John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein, they do make a lot of really good stuff in general. The only real misfires I think they've had overall, the only real one I could see from their filmography here was the Vacation remake, which came out in 2015, which, yeah, that was a movie where the best stuff of that was in the trailer, and then after that, the movie itself was just garbage. So I fully trust these guys overall. I think they can bring some new life to this, but it's only going to be a matter of whether or not Paramount actually goes through with this. Because, like I said, they've been trying to get this movie made now ever since the last Star Trek film came out in 2016. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping it gets done. I like what these guys do, so hopefully this gets made. But we'll see what happens. I feel like we're a long way away from seeing a new Star Trek film coming. But surely we'll get one before the decade is over, one would think.